Going back a little bit on a previous note that we did mention earlier on today, you've changed a couple of jobs,
Yes.
which is natural in one's career. What do you look out for in your employment in terms what does fulfill you and what are the signs that you look out for?
So after having worked in London for 3 years for a bank, coming back to Malta for me was a bit as in difficult in the sense that I was used to already. I mean, when 15 years ago in Malta, the workforce was predominantly Maltese, predominantly, English, Maltese speaking, or I was already used to working in a multicultural city, country, whatever. I mean, out of 40 people, I was the only white person working in London in the bank. So I had, all nationalities, all races, which I was already accustomed to. Then, so coming to Malta and initially working for, let's say, a smaller organization, predominantly Maltese, with a Maltese culture only, was a bit slow for me. As in, I'm a bit, I like to do things differently. I like to have discussions, not this is the way we do it, go and do it. So that was a little bit difficult for me. And then I realized that I needed to work in organizations which are multinational, so bigger organizations where, you communicate with people outside of Malta, you get ideas, you share ideas, you go and visit them, they come and visit you. It gives you a bit of a different perspective than working in a small, maybe family-owned company in Malta, where you don't have much of a say, you're not involved. If it's not broken, let's not fix it, let's not change anything because we've done it for the last 10 years and it's working. So I'm always looking for that place where I can challenge, where I can be innovative, where I can say something and I'm not judged because, no, you're like, people in my current industry could easily say, oh, you've never been in a hotel, you don't know what, as in you don't know anything about hotels.
And did you receive that feedback? Recently?
Initially, yes, but then, I mean, and also with the support of my boss and then sort of the senior team in the company, they actually explained why they got me outside of the industry because they wanted new blood, new perspectives, new ideas. And this is what I believe in, as in, I mean, titles are there and titles give you responsibilities, but ultimately at the table, anyone can add value, anyone can give an idea of how things could work. Again, I mean, I'll speak about, I don't know, talking about hotels again, make it easier for me. I do my bed at home sometimes, but I can never ask a housekeeping attendant. Sorry, not I can never ask. I can never really tell a housekeeping attendant how to do a bed in a few seconds because they are the people. So if we're designing a room, why not get someone from housekeeping to tell you, yes, but if you put the bedside table a bit on the side, we can clean the room better. We can. Most of the people will say, "Oh no, that's just a housekeeping attendant. She doesn't know anything, or he doesn't know anything about." But no, I mean, I think everyone should be involved. Or ultimately, there are people to take the final decision.
Yes, for sure.
But why not let people give you the input on how things could change or ideas or So I'm a firm believer of involving as much people as possibly can, because obviously at some point you need to say, listen, okay, I've listened, I've taken as much as I can on board, but now it's time to take things to the senior team and take a decision. But get as much input as you can, because you're not the person on the floor, you're not the person doing that bed, you're not the person cooking in that kitchen or anything else. So have people with you.
Why do you think people resist that kind of approach?
Which as in management or
most probably management, because they are resisting the involvement of people.
I think because they think they know it all, in my opinion, and luckily enough, I don't work in an organization like that, but I've done in the past, and you realize that after a while you're still going to fail because ultimately we need to achieve what we need is through our people. So if I'm going to do something without involving them and then expecting them to do it, without getting any feedback. It might turn out to be waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy.
Sometimes I encounter, besides what you said, two other aspects to that, because I also agree with your point that the more people you get involved in a project, the better the results are likely to be.
Exactly.
And the resistance, apart from what you said, is that it might be too time consuming and we need to do things as quickly as possible, which might be valid, but some things can wait
Yes.
a little bit.
And let's say as it is, as in, I mean, there are decisions and there are decisions. So,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, if it's something that is, you know, going to cost money and needs to be done now, and there's enough experienced people, knowledgeable people to take the decision, then you just do it. But if it's going to be something, especially if it's going to impact the lives of your colleagues, no, as in, if I don't know, if we want to build a new store, and all the shelves are 3 meters high, and the person needs to go on a ladder every time, it's going to waste his time, health-wise, and many other
Risk
things.
and the risk.
And, so why? I mean, in cases like that, then you involve the people. But if it's a decision where you feel competent, you have, you know, the right authority to take it without involving anyone, and it's not going to impact the day-to-day life of someone, then you just take it.
I mean, you just said you mentioned the stores. You add 2 tablets so that everyone can have their own tablet, for example. That's a no-brainer. You don't need to consult people.
Exactly.
So if it's facilitating, makes things faster.
Life easier,
Yes.
everything else, and that's fine.
You
Then
get
people are going to love you for that.
For sure. For sure. So that's a no-brainer.
Exactly.
And another thing that I wanted to highlight in this is that people might feel exposed. People might feel exposed that someone else will outsmart them because they might come out with a better idea than theirs. So it becomes a bit of an ego issue. And some people try to avoid that because they might not be that confident that their idea is absolute.
But that's when, I mean, you would normally never go down the route of Isma. Sorry, I spoke.